If you're not 5 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah, all right, Coughlin.
That's right. Man, so we saw you before the Florida game. We talked to you, I think, before the Bama game. I want to say that week. Lots happened since we last saw you.
Yeah, life's changed a little bit since then, for sure.
Yes.
It was a quite crazy whirlwind to end the year. You go for Cleveland to really trying to figure out what's best for myself for a week, to then 2 weeks in Detroit, to then boom here in Tennessee, and 8 days later you're starting versus the Cowboys. It was crazy.
That's why. Real quick, how was Detroit though?
I liked
had
it.
a big buzz. Really?
Man, the culture up there was awesome. Dan Campbell, the coaching staff he's built. Because there's so many guys that played across the board, offense, defense, special
coaching
teams.
staff.
Coaching staff.
Okay.
They played in the league. They understand the players. They really relate to the guys. When you get inside that building, the guys really gravitate toward each other. So I got there. They were at really in the meat of their win streak that they went on to end the year. And so obviously when things are going well, obviously the morale in the building is going to be good. But genuinely, you could feel the culture really popping off the page in there. It was 2 weeks, but I really enjoyed those 2 weeks.
That's what's up, man.
So you make 2 NFL starts for the Titans, finish off the season here. What do you feel like you learned the most about yourself as a quarterback? And have you had time to kind of process those 2 games? And it felt like a whirlwind here at the end of the season.
It definitely was a whirlwind. I would say it was just good to get on the field and play in real game situations. As Ramon knows, that's the biggest thing. Preseason is one thing, practice is one thing, but when you're out there and the bullets are flying, it's a whole different animal and beast. So to go out there, obviously you want to win the games. So just looking back on those game situations and figuring out how I can improve personally and as a team will be good moving forward. But to go out there, play well, move the ball up and down the field, and give the team an opportunity to win was the biggest thing that I took from that. And I enjoyed it. We'll grow from those experiences and be excited for the next opportunity.
That's interesting, too, in your position, man. Being a guy, 4th-round draft pick, quarterback. So you know the role of what you're going into. It's something's got to happen for you to get to that mode, man. But what was the patience like to wait through that, being on 2-3 different teams at that point, finally getting that call, Josh? And what was your mindset of being accepted in this league until you got that start with the Titans?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was you kind of learn throughout your progression. As you said, when you're quarterback, you're drafted behind a guy like Big Ben. Yeah. You kind of have to, one, wait for your opportunity there. If it doesn't arise, which mine didn't, over 5 years, you kind of have to figure out how to make your own opportunity happen. And so that was the biggest thing this year. Obviously signing with the Browns, knowing you're going to a unique QB room.
It made me throw up a little bit. Bro.
Yeah, very fair. Very
cool. I texted you that too, so it
wasn't the day it happened.
Saying it to his face.
I did.
He's like, really? But then he said, congratulations.
Yeah,
so
that's how he works.
Exactly. But going to that situation, just understanding the dynamic of that room, and doing well with the opportunities I was given, but also seeing halfway through the season, I'm coming to you hey, we're trying to keep the 4 of you guys together through next year. So you're kind of the guy that's kind of getting the short end of the stick right now. So seeing that, but also being okay, it's a business for the team, right? So it has to be a business for you personally. And for me, at that point, yes, I was there all year, but I want to get on the field and play. So looking around the league and saying, hey, let me take a step back. Let me see the opportunities that are out there and position myself in a position where if something arises, I'll be able to make the most of it. It's kind of how I attacked the season. And obviously it turned out well. Going through it was definitely a whirlwind. But shoot, at this point, you put in so much time and effort into it. It's you're going to do whatever it takes to get on the field.
And that's the other part of it, too. Watching guys like Brian Hoyer, who I came in, Chase, golly, that played with the Saints, Chase Daniels, and now Chad Henne, too, being a guy that's survived in that role for a very long time, but they had tape. You're a guy now that have film. And I'll be honest, while we're doing this show and you're out there, the buzz around you was high.
Yeah.
So now that you got that tape and we saw you make hard passes and play and compete, man, what does it mean going into free agency this offseason? Because that's a portion of it, too, Dobbs, where tape gets you paid, and I thought you did some good stuff.
For sure. I think, as a player, you always have certainty in your skills and ability and what you can be, especially when you haven't been given the opportunity. You're okay, I know I can do this, but at the end of the day, you still got to prove it. Yeah. Get out there, right? So to be able to have the tape just gives you a different level of certainty where you're okay, teams have seen me play games, seen me play, in the toughest environments, given the toughest, opportunity. Like, hey, you just learned this playbook
How many,
a week
8
ago.
days?
8 days,
Yeah.
on Thursday, then playing Thursday night game versus the Cowboys, then you're in a playoff game in Jacksonville. So teams have seen you play on the biggest stage and go out and perform and compete at a high level. So, as a player, it doesn't give you like more confidence. It gives you just more certainty in the next opportunity, right? And gives you, at the end of the day, you want options. You want to put yourself in the best opportunity to go out there, play, compete. Everyone wants to start in this league, and that's my goal. And that's what the past opportunity will give me moving forward.
Take us inside that week, like the 8 days you're preparing. Like, how many hours were you putting in the building, watching film, getting up to speed with the offensive, coaching staff in terms of, learning the playbook that quickly?
I think like what people like don't see is, so we played. So I got here on a Wednesday. Then we played Saturday versus the Texans, where I was dressed to play, but didn't play. And then the next day was Christmas, right? So, and then we're playing.
Merry Christmas.
Exactly. Then we have a short week Thursday. So I'm leaving the stadium, and Coach calls me and says, "Hey, can you come in tomorrow on Christmas morning? Because we're thinking about starting Thursday. We want you to get the game plan ahead of time." So I'm like, while I'm driving home, I was literally like halfway down the road going back to Atlanta to spend the day with the fam. I was like, I'm driving home, like, I'll eat Christmas meal at home.
Yeah.
Wake up, I'll at least get my car, because I didn't have a car. I was just Ubering like to the facility, scootering, and it's like freezing cold outside.
Wow.
So let me at least get my car. I'll drive it up, and I'll be back up at 2 p.m. He's like, cool. I'll see you then. So come in, you go through. And so the goal was like for me, let me not show up like the day that I'm starting and I'm on the same material that the rest of the team is on.
Sure.
Because I got to go out and practice it. So I need to have walked through it myself, go through my process to be able to be ahead of the game, so I could at least go out and practice and give the team confidence that I could go out and execute it in the game. So
because they're going to judge you.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You step in that huddle, that first play call comes up, and they're going to look at you, especially as the quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like when you step in the huddle and you're either too quiet
Yeah.
or you stumbling
They're
over
like
the play.
immediately
over the
judgy.
words.
It's like sharks in the water, man.
Like, what do you say?
What?
Like the O-line will be correcting you on what the play call should be, so you
Ramon
want
never
to be
did that,
on
I'm
your
sure.
P's and come on, he did it the first day I was in Pittsburgh.
Call
He
him
knows
out
it.
now, Josh. Call him out.
I love it.
Those
We're here
Wednesday,
for it.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Ben's day off.
Yeah.
Ramon's staring at me in the huddle like, what do you say? What do you say? So yeah, you wanna give the team confidence when you step in the huddle as a quarterback, right? So it was either be at the facility studying or go back to your hotel room. So I would just stay in the facility.
Yeah.
Whether it was I'll get there a little early, go through the stuff, then go through as a team, then get on the field, we're practicing it, go through stuff after, then get ahead on the next day. So, but I would say in general, that's always been kind of my process. I would say like when I got traded to Jacksonville year 3, week 2, and it was a similar situation. I didn't end up playing, but I got traded on a Monday, and I was like, you're dressing on Sunday, and it was Gardner's first start.
That's my boy. Go Cougs.
Yeah, he's good people. I love Gardner. That's my man. But it was like his first start. It's like at that point they're like, we don't know what Gardner has. Like you really could play, right? So going through that whole cycle, I think prepared me really well for this situation where I have a really good process. Even when I've been in an offense, I kind of study every week like it's my first time seeing the material. 'Cause I get that much more ownership of it. Especially as a backup, like you got to be able to go in and play whenever. You don't know when
that's
it's
what's
gonna happen.
expected.
Exactly. So just going through those various situations. Shoot, the situation with you in Pittsburgh when we were in Baltimore, you get thrown out there on the 4-yard line, and they're like, throw a deep over, 2nd and 16. Those all situations really prepared me for the situation. Obviously, going through them, you don't think about it, but you're able to learn how to just always be prepared whenever your number's called.
When you gave us that call, Kayla, listen to me. I said,
Ramon's face was like, what?
we're backed up in
What?
Baltimore on
I
the
could just
road.
see it
Kayla,
right
go
now.
ahead. But I had to just be like,
Yeah.
I like you, Dobbs, but
Yeah.
come on, man.
I'm going with this is the play I was given. I mean, I'm just reading it from right
He's
here.
like, I'm just reading off my arm here. Come on.
Exactly.
So when you came to Tennessee, you clearly know a little bit about the Titans. Just, you spent time in Tennessee at the university and knew some guys on the Titans team. How was it kind of hopping in late into the season, like what was the culture like?
Yeah.
Honestly, just, how did the guys react? And it sounded like everybody we spoke to in the locker room was like, yo, we love Dobbs. I mean, it was like instantly I feel like you fit right in. I know that doesn't always happen
Without
in
a
locker
doubt.
rooms.
No, I mean it can be tough just because guys have been there all year, like working around the same group of guys. A new face comes in and they want to get to know the guy, but it's like you don't have time to fully get to know him. And I think just from me and just my personality and just being in different locker rooms, I kind of just understand, one, like whatever the role is that I'm given when I get there, I just fully dive myself into that role. And I think having that mindset really helps getting assimilated into a locker room very quickly. So no, it was really good. Guys really took me in under their wing, talking with like Corey, the center at the time. He's helping me through the cadence. We're just going through like the little things that people might not see, but are like so important to just operational stuff for you just to run the offense. Yeah. That it really helped me. Even like Malik, I know given the circumstance, it's a crazy circumstance, but coming in and having the quarterback that's there, hey, like here's like little cadence stuff. Here's little things that we do for communications at the line of scrimmage. Here's the way that we like kind of enunciate this word that helps the guys get off on the same timing. So like little things like that to have everybody across the board help and really take me in, really helped me make the transition quicker. And, I enjoyed it and thankful for having such a good culture in that locker room that allows the guy to come
even when you're
in.
working with backups, I mean, that's the thing. At the time, the line, I mean, that's a makeshift line at the point.
Exactly. Those guys
Ben's
work
out.
their butt off.
Yeah, it really is, when you think about it, kind of an incredible situation at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we talk about my story coming in at the end. And then it's also like getting there, then learning about everyone else's story that you didn't know of. It's like, yeah, well, he was making his first start too, and he started a half a game. Last week was his first start, just all the way across the board. And watching those guys fight was tremendous. And speaking on them, like they put themselves in great opportunities to have another opportunity to play the game they love moving forward as well.
Josh Dobbs, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. What's it like playing quarterback for Mike Vrabel?
Playing quarterback for Mike Vrabel is awesome. He, I think the way he sees the game really meshes well with a quarterback. Obviously he's he's a defensive guy, but just the way like he sets you up throughout the game. Is talking with the OC, coming to you on the sideline, and then I think it meshes well with my personality. During the game, guys want to feel kind of that juice from the quarterback, whether things are going well or whether you're struggling. And Coach Vrabel's walking up and down the sideline, like giving guys high fives, fist bumps. The first person, someone makes a big play, he's the first one to run down the field, pick that guy up. And people just gravitate toward that energy. So I enjoyed it, just to be on the same page, talking ball. He's a very, very intelligent coach, as we all know. It was definitely an enjoyable experience.
Wanted to ask you, too, about Tim Kelly, the new offensive coordinator here. What was your interaction with him like? How much time did you kind of get to spend with him as he kind of moves into a bigger role now?
Yeah, so Tim and all the quarterbacks and Todd, we would meet every single day, in the OC's office. So we're going through, like, every single play. And that was really cool. Like, we were all on the same page, because we're going through the same plays. We're talking about them live as we're installing them. We're saying, hey, like, do you like this? Do you like that? Why is this play being called? And obviously Tim had a big hand in that as well as Todd. So I think it'll be really good, having that cohesiveness moving forward. So I'm really excited for Tim in his new role as an OC. I think he'll do a very good job.
All right, I got to ask you about some of these Vols that are now entering the NFL.
Yep.
Hendon Hooker. How much have you been able to kind of communicate with him about the draft process?
Yeah, so I actually saw Hendon this past weekend out in Arizona for the Super Bowl stuff. So it's good to catch up. He's moving really well. That was really good to see.
It is.
So I'm excited for him. He's obviously going through the rehab process, but as we know, Hendon's a great dude and a great football player. So I think he'll be totally fine. And he has a good team around him, really preparing him for the draft coming up. So I'm excited to see where he lands.
Me too. If it wasn't for the knee, could you see Hendon going a little bit higher?
Definitely. He just showed like he played so well in those big games, right? The Alabama, the Florida. on the road at LSU. You know, he played well in big moments. He made big plays, big throws. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, that's all Coach Heupel. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out and execute and make those plays, right? Like, the coach can scheme it up, but you got to go make plays. And make plays when you're under pressure, and he did a great job with that all year.
When it comes to the state of the Vols right now, because we dealt with that era of just like, Moan, you looking at me some days, I'm looking at you like, Dobbs, when we going to turn this thing around? I had to even tell him, like, the UT Vols, like, fan base didn't appreciate you enough because, like, having a quarterback that can win games for you, like, that's something that you were able to do. Like, now that we're at a point to where it's stable. You've been there. I've seen you there. You've seen me. We've all been up there together. Where are you at with the Vols right now, man, football?
I'm excited, man. I mean, they keep turning over new recruiting groups. They got high recruits. They got guys that should be really good. Yeah. Obviously, you know how it goes. He still got to show up.
You do. Yeah, you still got to show up. That's a veteran in you talking now. Oh, you're a 5-star?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Can you actually do it, though?
Yeah, he still got to show up and play. So we all got to see that from everyone across the board. But, you know, just getting the talent on campus has been something that we've been lacking.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. If you don't even have the talent to start, then, I mean, you're trying to compete against Alabama. LSU going to keep recruiting. Florida's going to be back at some point. Obviously, Georgia's king right now. Like, and we got to play all of them every year except for LSU. But we got to play the top dogs every single year.
The worst schedule. The hardest schedule of all of them.
You're going to play the guys that are good, especially right now.
The big three.
You're going to play the big three every year. And so we're getting the recruits on campus, which is the start. And then seeing how fast the coaching staff's been able to develop that talent. And I think that's what has been lacking. It's like recruits will come, but it's like then guys are transferring or guys want to develop or guys will never play. But now they're developing, they're playing early, which is really good to see. So I'm excited.
So what's the process now in the off season? Everybody has different ways they go about the off season. For you, what is it? Do you give yourself a little time to rest and recover? You said you were over in Phoenix, Scottsdale area for the Super Bowl. Like, what's the process now? So
for me, you know, I kind of take my birthday's like January 26th, so I kind of
nice.
So I depending on when the season ends, obviously I would like to be playing through my birthday.
Yes.
But depending on when the season ends, so this one ended obviously earlier than we wanted. So I take like a week or two, kind of chill, do like a little birthday trip with the family, just get some R&R, and then when I come back from that, I'm such a busy body that I just start training. So, and the worst thing I hate is my goal is always to, like, this week right after the Super Bowl, like, jump right into off-season training, whether it's working out in the morning, guys, so I work out in the morning, throw in the morning, and then push from there. So got a couple weeks in before it, so you didn't hit the first initial soreness as you're, like, jumping back in the weight room. So, yeah, so I've had a great week so far. But yeah, it's like full on. I know I don't even know what day. February 15th. But we're like full on off season training mode. So 4 days a week, throw in 3 days a week. Have some trips planned, but
you got to mix in some fun, right?
We do mix in some fun. I won't say I'm the guy that's like has no fun throughout his off season. I definitely do. I try to document it, let everyone see it. But
that's great.
But we're definitely getting our work in, and we're starting early this year. So I'm excited.
Love it, Josh. Man, this has been great. Appreciate you coming by.
No doubt. Thanks for having me. I'll look forward to stopping in. I might even get my own segment soon.
He shouldn't have said morning guy.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
He said, I'm a morning guy.
Let's not forget, I stopped you from getting sacked, Dobbs, on the one pass. Okay,
that's true.
I won't hold it against
Look, we've got a lot of Tennessee wins to just gloat about, like, year round.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hopefully there's one tonight on the hardwood that we're going about.
I'm going to that.
Nice.
I don't want to rub it in your face or
Rub it in his face.
God. Go Vols, baby.
Josh Dobbs has been our guest this morning.
We'll do it.
We'll do it again soon, man, for sure.
Let's do it.